a really, really good fight that I'm looking forward to because of the grappling pedigree that's going to be introduced into this fight. And I think I really look at it as almost, who do you think is the more legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt? Is it Gunnar Nelson or is it Damian Maia? And, for me, I look at it, I don't think anybody really questions whether or not Damian Maia is one of the best grapplers out there. I mean, he's, Neil Magny just fought and won a very, very controversial split decision, but nonetheless, took the fight on short notice versus Kelvin Gastelum and won. And I don't think it was really inconceivable that he won that fight. But then you look at what happened between him and Damian Maia, and Damian Maia just controlled him on the ground. Absolutely. Just literally manhandled him on the ground. And so, I think that Damian Maia has fought better competition. I think he's going to be better on the ground than Gunnar Nelson. I think he's going to win a decision. I don't see him losing the fight on the ground, although it is possible Gunnar can pull off a submission. I just don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Wow, interesting picks. What about yourself, Don? Who you picking in this welterweight fight, Damian Maia and Gunnar Nelson?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It was I forget what it was. There was talk of them having this fight a few months ago, but then the staph infection to Maia, that was pretty nasty, and they were pretty quick to rearrange the fight and get it back on for 194. It is a strange one. You've got the grapplers. I want to side with Gunnar, but as Bob was saying, I think Maia's bringing the weekend better competition. I think Maia's obviously going to have the edge in the ground, but I think Gunnar Nelson will win. I think he'll probably take a decision off Maia.
I mean, it's one of those ones. Is it experience or is it youth? Those are the kind of things that are coming to mind for me as well. And then what if the fight doesn't go to the ground? It's. We've seen Maia and Rory McDonald comes to mind, where he's sort of gassing and as the fight goes on and just doesn't want to really stay on the feet, and that could be a factor in this fight.
It's youth for me.
Yeah. So we've got one for Maia, one for Nelson. So I have to be the Simon Cowell and give the deciding factor. I'm going to go for Gunnar Nelson. I think I can just. I love Damian Maia, but there is that factor. If it doesn't go to the ground, if it stays on the feet, and and who's got what in the gas tank, I'm going to go for the Icelandic fighter Gunnar Nelson in this one. Next up, we have the middleweight, likely to be a title shot fight. It's the two contenders, obviously Ronaldo Souza and Yoel Romero. Don, I'll start with you on this one. Who are you picking, Jacare or the Soldier of God?
It's another hard one. Romero, he's looked great. He's an absolute beast. You can see him kind of get in there, getting a hold of Souza, taking the ground, but when it comes to jiu-jitsu, Souza, he's going to tie you up.
Yeah.
I think Romero trying to keep it on the feet. I think ultimately I'll end up with Souza on the ground getting another submission victory. Wow. I think Romero, I could see him gassing a little, and that's probably why I'm thinking Romero gas a bit and Souza will end up with him on the ground and submitting him. I want to say probably third round.
Wow, even round predictions, I like it. Very confident, sir.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Bob? Who are you picking, Jacare or Yoel Romero for this one?
I have to go with the Soldier of God, Yoel Romero. I think what's going to happen in this fight is I think he's going to catch Jacare. I think he's going to swarm him, and I think he's going to finish him. Jacare is. Again, he's a guy that has incredible jiu-jitsu, but I don't think he's going to be able to get Yoel Romero down, considering Yoel Romero's background. And I think Yoel Romero has to be considered the more dangerous striker. I mean, look at what he did to Lyoto Machida. He's coming into this fight, and he's really been on a tear. I think his last loss is going back 4 years ago. He had the fight versus Tim Kennedy, controversial fight, but Tim Kennedy's an absolute monster. And I'd have to say that he's going to win. On the other hand, Jacare, he's been around a long time, and he's beat a lot of fighters in the middleweight division that would be considered championship level, and so he's not someone to count out. Obviously, former, I believe he was the former Strikeforce champion, and if I'm not mistaken, and he's coming off of an impressive run in the UFC. But I'd have to go to Soldier of God.
Well, I mean, this is... I hate being biased when I'm meant to be a journalist, but I'm going to be biased. I'm such a fan of Jacare. I was watching one of his fights recently against Matt Linland, and there was a moment in that fight... sorry to just totally digress here, but there was a moment in that fight where the commentator, I think it was Pat Miletich, was saying, if he can get side control from this, it could be all over. And as soon as he said that, he dropped a hammer fist and landed right in his side control. And it's just like, no one else would have thought of that. It's just those little idiosyncrasies that the Jacare has. I know that both men are in the 30s, but in terms of, cage fight experience, mixed martial arts experience, that's why I'm going for Souza. Not just because of my love for the fighter, but I take your point, Bob. He is very explosive, and that Machida fight certainly shocked me as well. I was very impressed with his striking. I mean, that fight hardly went to the ground at all, and that's not what I expected. But I just think Jacare's just got too much from him. So that gives us a 2-1 for Souza over Yoel Romero, the Soldier of God. Let's hope he's got no dodgy post-fight speeches if he does get the W. Let's move on to the co-main event, still in the middleweight division. This time it's for the title. And of course, as we know, it's Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold. So, Bob, I'll start with you on this one. Who are you picking? Is it a new champion or Weidman retains?
I think Weidman retains because, Chris Weidman, he said it best. He said, Luke Rockhold is good in every area. He's better in all these areas. I really, really think so. I don't think he's going to be able to stop Weidman when it comes to takedowns. I think Weidman will get him down. And if Weidman can't get him down, I think Weidman could potentially win a striking battle. Although Luke Rockhold said, listen, I'm going to put my foot in his stomach. I'm going to make it hard for him, and I'm going to beat him. So I just think that Weidman looks to be on a tear. I think he's going to be the stronger fighter in this contest, and I think he's going to win. I don't know how he's going to win, but I would have to pick him to win.
Chris Weidman retains. What about yourself, Don? Who are you picking? Is it a new champion, or does Weidman remain undefeated?
I'm going back and forth on this for a while. Sometimes I'm thinking Weidman, other times Rockhold. Rockhold's looked great recently. But as I say, Bob was saying, Weidman's been on a tear. I don't know how he wins it, but I do see Weidman getting the victory. I don't think it's going to be like it's a dominant fight as some people think, and I think Weidman will stay in there, and he will eventually I'll maybe go a decision. I don't think anybody's going to get knocked out or submitted. I think it'll be a good kind of 5-round fight, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I take your point as well about, I've been so conflicted in this as well, Don. It's been, every time I see one of the previous fights or, build up promos, anything, it's like, well, maybe actually, maybe Rockhold will, and then I'll go, no, maybe wait. I'm just so back and forth on who I'm picking.
I know.
But I do agree, I don't see a finish for either fighter. I envisage, actually, I don't know what you guys think, similar to the Machida-Weidman fight, it'll be sort of maybe get one guy takes the first couple of rounds, and then there may be a turning point, and that, whoever, be it Rockhold or Weidman, takes the last two. I think it'll be very, very close, and I do think it'll go to decision. Who I'm picking, if it does go to decision, probably Weidman. If I gun in my head, it's got to be Weidman. So, but I'm really excited for that fight. So that's all 3 picks going for Chris Weidman there. Finally, we were meant to have it early in the year, and it's been an amazing build, but it's finally arrived, and it's Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor, undisputed featherweight championship. And Don, I'll start with you this time, sir. Who are you picking to walk out UFC 194 as the undisputed champ?
Yeah, the big one. Whatever we was talking about for months. So many people. This same kind of thing as Rousey. There's so many people that generally don't watch much mixed martial arts, and all they see is Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey, and they're coming out shouting, "Oh, Conor McGregor's going to win the first round. Aldo's got nothing." But usually to those people, I would say Aldo's a killer.
Yes,
you can never count out Aldo. I always get the strange look from it because I've been picking Aldo, but it's been the same thing as the Weidman fight, back and forward. I still think I'm going to side with Aldo.
Yeah.
There's all this talk that Conor McGregor's striking's great. I can see he's been training for quite a while. He's had 2 fight camps now to get ready for it, but I still think Jose Aldo will have the advantage on the feet.
Yep.
Whether he finishes McGregor, I'm not sure. I think this will be a fast-paced fight, but I can see Jose Aldo walking out there with the belt.
Jose Aldo retains. What about yourself, Bob? Bob, it's your turn. You're going out. You're giving us the final say. Undisputed King, 145-pound division. Who's it going to be, Aldo or McGregor?
I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people here when I say that I don't think this is going to be a competitive match. I think Conor McGregor is going to have his way with Jose Aldo. I think that he has the right style. Let's face it, Conor McGregor is beatable. I think a guy with more of a grappling style, someone like Frankie Edgar, or others have the potential to beat him in that division. But Jose Aldo has the perfect fighting style for Conor McGregor, and I think Conor McGregor is going to be able to do some things to Jose Aldo. He's a lot taller than Jose Aldo. Yep. He is the only advantage I would give Jose Aldo was in the leg kick department. I don't think that he's going to be able to outstrike Conor McGregor. I think Conor McGregor is going to have a fun time in there, and he's going to win.
I mean, I hate to pick one in this contest, but I guess I've got to side with Aldo. I see Conor McGregor. I watched that Chad Mendes fight back, and he's eating shots flush on the chin. And he's obviously doing that to bait in his opponent to land that. There was front kicks to the body or the overhand left, and he just relies on it too much. And I don't know if it's going to happen in this fight, but there's a potential for it that he's going to rely on it just one too many times, and that could be the moment that decides this fight. So simply for that reason, I'm going to pick Jose Aldo. But oh man, it's going to be really good.
Because I'm picking Aldo and Bob said I'm kind of expecting to be surprised McGregor. I'm picking Aldo. I can see McGregor come in there and put on a clinic and kind of silencing everybody. I don't know how much of a percentage I'm expecting it to happen, but I'm picking Aldo, but I can see McGregor coming in and having a good show. I think it'll be a good fight to watch. Obviously, the build-up, the intros and stuff, it's going to be a great atmosphere, I think.
Well, I would say hashtag red panties, but at that moment, this is all kind of wrong. I'll just leave that to Conor McGregor. Well, gentlemen, like I said, thank you very much. A massive thank you to our panel here today, helping us break down UFC 193, Holm versus Rousey, and we certainly had some interesting picks and insight ahead of 194, McGregor versus Aldo. So for myself, John McElroy, Bob Carson of the Carson's Corner Podcast, and to Don Wilson of Fight Talk Scotland, we say thanks for listening and tuning into the Martial Arts Podcast. And gentlemen, again, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Disrespectful is over the top.
He's just a joke and a court gesture to me, so all I do is laugh at him.
I sense fear.
It is all over!
His time is up.
Ready to take over!
He's a dead man walking.
Biggest fight in the history of the UFC.
Behind your eyes there is no